Yay. Okay, let me tweet out the link then. So that way people know where we are. Mhm. What's it say? Join me. Is that the link I should send? So can I copy it? Mhm. Okay. Live show. Mhm. Okay. I think that's it. We will see if that was the right link. So now we wait for people, and maybe someone will show up, maybe someone won't. We don't know. We don't know until people come in. Um, yes, no, I finished it literally this morning. I was so behind. Uh, that's so smart. That's so smart. How long was that bath though? Was it like a long one, like you had a while left, or no? Yes. Nice. Oh, okay. So it's 100 or 80 or so. Okay. Yeah. But that ending, we'll talk about that in a bit. I don't know how I feel. Mhm. I was also confused. Oh my god. Oh, look. Our 2 people joined us. Let us know. Say hi in the comments if anybody joined. I have this little thing that says 2 people. I don't know if that's us though. Who knows? Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Um, I thought for the most part, I think I liked it. Oh, somebody's there. Hello, Andrea. Adriana. Oh, I can't read. Wow. What did I say? I don't even know what I said. I just okay. Names are hard. I apologize. But hi. Okay. Mm, so what was your rating of the book? I'm still like, mulling over it. A 4? Oh, yeah. I agree. That's why I got the audiobook because reading it like the first 50 pages just by myself, I was like, I wonder like like I liked the story. I was just like struggling a little bit. Oh, some more people came. Hello. You generally liked it? Oh, that's good. That's good. I think I liked it too. I think I'm leaning more towards a 4 star as well, just because I really like the concept and everything. Just some parts were a little flat, and I also felt that the story, though there was so much time that passed, like it said months had passed, but I didn't feel like months had passed. You know? Am I the one who felt that way? It said like that's what I thought too. But it wasn't like apparently because Sienna's or Sienna, I don't know how to say her name. She like was talking about how months had passed where people were like hiding from her and things like that, and it was just interesting. Mhm. We jump into like spoilers. Yeah, let us. Yeah, yeah. Let's do like non-spoilers first. I think I'm leaning, yeah, 4 star. Um, just because I really liked the story and the concept, and it was just really interesting world to me. I was like, oh wow. And I also just like how they depicted women too. It was really I thought that was really cool. Ina the boy. There was Ina and Cora. Are you talking about Cora, the friend in the group, or am I thinking? Oh, it is Ina. It is Ina, the girl in the castle in the palace. Yes, yes, it was. I was thinking about Emi is one of the guys. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, that was really good. And then someone agrees that the timing was a little bit uh, noticeable. I totally agree that the timing of the book was just a little the pacing of it just felt a little interesting. Like there'd be these heated moments and then it would drop, or we just skip over this really hard, difficult thing. And I was just like, oh, okay. Mhm. Mhm. Spoiler. It's too much. Uh, I agree. I agree. It was I found that though it was intriguing, like, I loved all the little aspects. I personally love those kind of cliffhangers, but then I found it to be that, I really wanted to go back to, like, the other story and be like, can we finish it? Can we what's happening?" And then they would wrap it up very neatly in the next, like in, like, a few chapters after. So it's very yeah, Nala. Me too. I think I can agree. Mhm. I totally agree. I totally agree. That one of the stories was always I felt like more drawing my attention than the other, if that makes sense. So I was just like, "Oh, what's happening? What's going on? Hmm." Oh, yeah, and then someone mentioned the ending. We'll talk about the ending, though. Like, the ending had us shook, but let's do, like we're gonna do some spoiler-free stuff first. But I think in case that yeah, we don't wanna spoil anybody. Um yeah, pacing, but I do like besides that the fact that I really love the like female like relationships and characters that happen in this book, like between the older woman, what was her name? Oh, I forget. Um yeah, I felt it was like a little rushed in their partnership, but then in the end I really felt for her. So it's very interesting how I was like cuz there weren't really any motherly figures even though the whole world is based on the fact that this the mother of the earth is like has been murdered and like the kingdom is kind of in shambles and there was no mother figure so it's very interesting that she kind of took that place. Mhm. Natural. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. What just happens? Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. And then the fact that I feel like it wasn't layered in the book enough that they were questioning like because the whole twin thing I feel like besides the very very beginning where they talk about twins and then showing the two perspectives I feel like they both just went like oh I feel like I know you and then I feel like I know you too and there was only like one dream mentioned out of all of this like the whole book of them like knowing each other so I'm like curious I'm like I wish that was embedded a little bit more kind of I don't know. Nala really hooked me at the end when I really finished. Yes, we were talking about how one perspective is always, you know, leaning towards or how we're leaning towards Nala's story or leaning towards someone else's story. Someone said that in the comments. Don't really have much to say about the book. Just kind of okay for me. Yeah, I definitely felt that the book in the beginning did not hook me enough. That's why I think I went to the audiobook. I found that the audiobook really, really saved the story for me. because I found it to be way more enjoyable and more action packed. But I always love audiobooks kind of more than normal books. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, okay, but then I realized why they took it out. So in the audiobook, it had the first two chapters were like not even like 100 like BC or something, like right at the beginning of time, and then they are like 900 years after. And every chapter since after the first two we just repeated the same dates. So I could see why someone chose to take it out then. So now I understand after reading the whole book. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why it didn't print like that. At first, I thought there was gonna be some cool concept that they were like twins, but like different time periods at first. But then I was like, nah. And then someone was talking about, yeah, a wonderful read and wish that the ending was more thought out. Yeah, agreed. 100% agreed. I feel like the ending was that way because I don't know if they had in my book that there was a second book coming out already. So I think they already knew that they were gonna have a second book. So they kind of just had that ending to try and hook people or something. I don't know. It didn't. Yeah, I don't think it worked. I would wanna continue the story just to figure out about the twins, and I'm also a cheese for, like, romance in my stories, so I really wanted to see what happens between Nala and, what's his name? I just said it earlier. Emi? Emi? Oh, I kind of wanna know. Mhm. I hate him. Oh It was, and it was like she was always like, "Stop staring at me, stop staring at me," and he's like, "You're staring at me too," and I was just like, "Where is this coming from?" I don't remember you guys staring at each other. That's another thing that I found with this book is like, though I loved a lot of bits, I found that it told us a lot of stuff rather than showing us. Like instead of having a scene about them staring at each other, we had a scene about her getting mad that he had stared at him. And then yeah, like past tense, like, "Oh, he had stared at me and I walked away." You know? Oh, for sure. I feel like he has history. I think he has history. I don't in the forest, they were talking about how someone used to work at the palace, and that's how they got information about the palace. So I think that there's something I really hope there's something in the second book about that. That's what I'm thinking. I feel like the second book is gonna have a lot more going on, if that makes sense. And, yeah, I guess maybe the people are going to, like, freak out? That's, like, the only thing that I can think of. Like, "Okay, hmm." Yeah, just a book about, "Ah, we have no one." Okay, so, what was your favorite part about the book? What do you think? Or and people, you can comment down below in the comments. What was your favorite part of the book? I'm just curious. Stare at it. Stare at it. Yeah. Have our handy dandy copies. This cover though, I really love what they're doing with covers lately. The illustrated covers are so pretty. Oh my god. I did too. I was like, I'm not too sure what this story's about, but I want it. Yeah. no training, they're just good at it. Yeah, yeah. I almost thought for a second because when she came in and was about to like explain everything, I was like, "Wait, this seems too easy." So I kind of felt that relationship. Like I was like, "What is this woman doing? She's like trustworthy, but not." So that was really. I thought that was the most interesting part of like the first half was this old witchy kind of lady who had these awesome powers, but like we don't know who she is, and I still kind of hope that she's more than just a wise old woman. I feel like she's more, but in the end, the romance was so cute. I agree. Someone in the comments said the romance was cute. I agree. I kind of wish though that there was more in the book, if that makes sense. Not like I don't need more kissing or whatever, but I mean there was a moment in the end where they kind of like admit to their feelings. I wish in the book they had more conversations that alluded to them liking each other. I think, like you said, where she's just like, "I hate you," and it's like that's not cute to read. Maybe have one or two of those moments, but there was a lot of those moments of just like, "I don't want to be near you. Go away." Mhm. A lot of tension. Mhm. Can you show that why you're obsessed? Let's see how obsessed you are. Let's do it. I really hope the second book dives into that a little bit more because he seems very mysterious. I feel like a lot of the people in the forest are very like we don't know their backgrounds, so I don't know. Maybe that the author was trying to keep it more him more ominous by doing that, but I feel like we missed out on a lot of like of the good tension, like you said, like not the bad tension, but the good tension. There was like maybe two parts of good tension. I don't think so. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Maddie came from that specific village. I think yeah, I remember that because his honor was very important. Mhm. That he was there. He was obsessed, apparently. Oh, that was great. I don't I feel like my favorite part had to be the moments where they would have those like blackout moments because the girls or the twins don't know how to use their powers, so that moment of panic and like having to use their power but then being confused after and not wanting to admit it. Like I almost like the girl's stubbornness in this book. Like that really hit me because I feel like a lot of YA books, like girls are stubborn but then they like are kind of it seems like they're being bitchy because they're being stubborn, if that makes sense. Whereas these girls just felt stubborn because they just were desperate and like wanted to save the world. So I think I really liked that stubbornness and their like powers and not knowing how to control it, if that makes sense. I just love the magical like the dipping into the black and gold realm, which just sounds like one scary but two also really cool at the same time. I don't know. I'd like to go there. I want to see it. I don't know. Don't you? I don't know. Life threatening things? Hopefully something cool. Maybe the mother's in that realm. Who knows? Mhm. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to steal that bag of chips before, I swear. Like, so I guess now and the people in the chat, they've said that they have read the book, so let's talk about the ending. Let's do it. So at this point, we're talking spoilers. um, So personally, I felt that this ending, like I personally did not like it at all. Like the fact that I was on like the book is like 310 pages and on page 309 like they were just about to approach like the bad person. Like the like what's his name? Enzi, yeah, and Enzi. Like Easy, yeah. They were just approaching him, and in 2 pages, the fiercest, human person, demon, he's a demon, is destroyed within 2 pages. Like, I get that they're powerful, but are they really that powerful yet? Like, this dude has had that stuff going on for, like, 900 years, and they basically, like, held hands and he died. I was just like, "Why? How?" Ugh. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Why did you find her earlier? Mhm. A lot of it was convenient, yeah, I found it was convenient. The getting into the palace, there was no trouble at all except for one questioning, and then her being able to immediately find her twin, and then being able to kill him within 2 pages. It was all very easy, like, I get the emotional stakes of it, like, I loved that, and I also really liked the fact that the Easy or the NZ, how he knew they were coming, and, like, he had that sand thing where he could see all the plays or the players moving. I just wish it was a like, I just wish they held on to that moment more. Like I like this book, though short and concise, I feel like I wanted more. Like a lot more. Yeah. So I'm questioning, is the mother actually bad? Was she? Because then or like maybe because all leaders could possibly be bad. So we're thinking maybe when she comes back it's not as friendly as we all thought. But someone asked about how this fantasy compares to other Black fantasies. Do you have a fantasy you could talk about in comparison? Because I think I have one or two, or like Children of Blood and Bone, obviously. But fantasy. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. 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 Yeah, they all had a voice. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, and, like, within a sentence, you could get a couple point of views. Yeah, I totally agree. What I appreciated about this one compared contrasting to Children of Blood and Bone is that Children of Blood and Bone, I think the romance really carried the plot, which I found to be that was that convenience to that story that, oh, the brother likes the girl and she likes the bad guy and, like, the whole Zutara thing. I was like, I see you. I see you." Um, but then for this, I felt that it was like nice that it was sisterly, but I just wish I wish that I felt more for that relationship because I think that would have really again carried you into the second book because if you are interested in the relationship, you'd want to read about it. But now I feel like we don't. And then another like black fantasy book that I read was Beasts Made of Night by Tochi Onabochi. And that one was actually, like, one of my favorites. I thought it was really cool. It was about this guy who, like, ate sins for rich people, and they would mark him, but he was outcasted, and how, like, the country used him, and I thought that was a really fleshed out story, and it was, like, under 300 pages. And you only got the male's perspective, and it also had a lot of, like, African diction in it too. So I feel like that one is closer to Daughters of Neri. So if you really like that, you should check out like Beasts of Midnight or Beast Made of Night. I think that's what it's called. It was very interesting, and it's split into two. I haven't read the second one, but yeah, I definitely need to read more Black fantasy. I got the fifth season recently. I don't know if that's more of adult, so that's like a big step up. Too scared to check it out. Yeah. What to say? Mhm. I don't think they know. Yeah, they're still like, and now like the older people don't you can't even tell them because they're not there anymore. It's like, ooh. Mhm. Yeah, and then she had learned from her mom too a little bit, and I totally agree that. And we also got to see the magic like firsthand in Children of Blood and Bone. Saw her practicing and like trying and using it, whereas Daughters of Fury was all the build up to that moment of I am magical. You know, I feel like that was that. Oh. And then someone said that the Black God's Drum is another good Black fantasy. Currently reading Fox Venus Mesmer Anthology. Kind of oral history. Oh yeah, someone was telling me on Twitter how the fact that Daughters of Neri, it's like written as it would be orally spoken as a story, that it's supposed to be kind of feel like an African story being just told to you by someone's perspective. And I can kind of see that now, and I like that aspect, but I think it just went by too fast, or like again, the pacing was just not there, or something like. I still think that's a really cool aspect, and I think that Tochi Onabochi's writing style is very similar to that too, where it feels very like African and like like it feels like it's not supposed to be of this world. It has a lot of like a cultural background to like support it, which is so I think it's so interesting, and I feel like listening to the audiobook too with the accent really helps. Mhm. Adventure together, yeah. Like this is kind of like almost like a prequel feeling. I almost. Mhm. That's what it feels like, and I like some of the relationships. I definitely am picking up the second one. I just really hope that the world gets more enlightened, which would be super cool. Because then it's mystery, and then like boom, and then action. Mhm. Sanaya, Sanaya. Mhm. 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 Yeah. Mhm. And they were saying stuff. whole time. Like, oh, why are you letting this woman talk? Oh, that was so annoying. Trying to calm down, it's getting dark in my room. Yes, no, the guy, no, he was so rude. He would like girl hop and like try and coerce them into doing what he wanted to do, right? It's like, "Mhm, excuse me?" Yeah, no, I really like that. Oh, sorry. He did. It is weird, it is weird. But yeah, I definitely like the fact that the both of the twins were such strong women that the men constantly throughout the book are talking about the fact that like, "Oh, like, that you're not being proper," or "Why are you so sad?" and all this craziness, or like, if you show your emotion, you're thought of as crazy. That was so interesting to me because it's like that is like this is a fantasy book, but that is such a common idea within like our social norm. I feel like in society, it's like, oh, you do treat women like that, and you expect them to behave once they get married and act womanly, and it's like, what does that mean? I I want to climb trees. I thought that was I was literally laughing on the fact that that was like a point, like a plot point, like I want to climb trees. I thought that was so funny. Mm, yeah, mhm, yeah. It's like a release almost. Yeah, I definitely agree. And then someone commented that like if they had listened to Nala, they would have survived, which I also really like. It's interesting because in the book she took blame for that. She took blame in, oh, I didn't save them, like it's my fault. When I'm thinking to myself, like it's the village's fault. They literally locked you up for stating a fact. Like, and it's just interesting how women tend to blame themselves when it's like she did her best. She literally told them and stood up for them and then tried to go back again when she could. And it's almost the village's fault. So it's like you have to respect women. Hello. That was a really interesting touch to it. I just wish that later on she didn't feel blame towards it and recognizing that system that was against her a little bit. I did my best, literally. It was okay. I agree. It was like I feel like I was a tiny bit expecting more. I feel bad saying it, and that I do like this book and I want to continue on and I'm interested, but I do think it's just like an okay fantasy. Like, but to be honest, like Children of Blood and Bone was also like I know a lot of people really love it, but for me that was also like an okay fantasy. I'm like, oh, romance, okay, magic, okay, I see you. But like it was still like okay because I think the romance was just a little overwhelming for me personally because I was like, there's a lot driving this plot. um, mhm. Yeah, mhm. Yeah, sometimes very hateful. Like it was like, wow, this is really hateful. Like he hates her and he's like going crazy. Like yeah. So that's for me. Like I feel like those two were like these are like standard good fantasy books, but sadly like not a, like a 5 star like epic. I almost feel like it could have been if I had like a little bit more time. So that's why again the second book I feel like it's gonna do that. I want some more suspenseful action. You know who knows? Felt that it was very typical YA. Yeah. someone was just commenting that Children of Blood and Bone is a kind of typical YA fantasy. It is. And I honestly think that's why it got popular because it is like the first really popular black fantasy for YA. And a lot of people grabbed onto that hype. But that's why I'm happy because now more are coming out. Like trying to know like a ton are coming out this year, and I know a bunch have come out last year, and I have a lot of them on my TBR, and I'm excited for them. But I kind of feel like now my expectation is higher because I'm like, okay, this book came out and it was okay, but now I want everyone else to do like extremely, like much better. Like my expectations are very high, and that's why I think this one was like, I was like, oh, it's okay, but I was like, I felt like I was expecting more, and I'm trying to not expect more from books. Hmm. Yeah. Well, did you read the Bells? That was good. Mhm. That one was really good. Wait, randomly. So it's like so I felt like Blood and Bone was very romance plot driven but with lots of action. This one was very character driven. The Bells was like character driven, but also the world was so fascinating because it's like she's like can change people's appearance to make them look younger and all this stuff. Um, and there was a lot of political intrigue in it that I don't. So it depends on what you like. So if you like, I feel like it has more so like a clear plot in the world of like you understand the world very clearly, but there's some secrets that are happening underneath, and they kind of explode towards the end. So I feel like that one is also. I believe I gave that one a 4 star, but it was better than okay. Like I think of the Bells as being like a really good story. I need to read the sequel to it. You should read that. I feel like you might like it. It's also romantic. Hmm. Oh, a river or royal blood. I have that one on my TBR for this month. Someone just commented that they got it. I also have that on my TBR. Oh wow, I didn't notice that either. That's really good. Exactly. Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. And that's probably why a lot of the story, like, getting to tell it the way it did, because it's like though the pacing to us is, like, a little interesting, it was very clear and distinct. Like, they made a strong choice, the author made a really strong choice in how they were telling the story. So I feel like now that I know that it's self-published, I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense." Someone sat down and thought, like, "This is how I want to tell the story," which is interesting. Mad respect. Mad respect. Oh, someone said they didn't like the bells because of the flowery language. Oh, no. Oh, but they enjoyed the sequel. Okay, good. Now I have hope because I liked the first one, so that means the second one's even better. Oh, Twitter. Oh, it's you. That's okay. You're making me feel popular by blowing up my phone. Oh, thank you. I'll do my best to make you feel popular too. Yeah, type woman. The best type woman. Mm. Okay. Trying to think what else in the book I wanted to talk about. Strong female characters, kind of a wacky ending. um, hmm. I think that's really it for the book. Do you want to talk about some of the readathons that we're planning on participating in? Maybe? So much happening in February for readathons. Oh my god. Straight up, someone was telling me on Twitter about the Black Lit challenge that I didn't realize about, and then I'm like, I want to participate now. And I think it's interesting because I feel like this February, like last year, there was the BookTube games that who was someone did that. Nyana did it, and there was Blackathon. So I feel like there was like two like really fun, interesting readathons last year, and I feel like this year there's like 17. Like I feel like the readathon pool has like exploded. Like Black Love, Black Lit, Blackathon. I'm just like, and Contemporary Thon's happening this month too. So I'm just like, there's so much going on. Ooh, ooh, overall. Mm, I haven't. I think I'm gonna probably try and get it on Scribd in the coming months and try and listen to it. I've heard. So. No, you're good. Probably that sounds familiar, but I honestly don't remember. I just like is it weird? I only remember the cover of the girl, and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. Oh, oh, Outlaws. Oh, that does sound really interesting. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Mhm. I think we'd like. Like, oh, I probably love anything Elizabeth Acevedo wrote. She's like my favorite author. I definitely need to check it out. I will. Um, but that's interesting that it's Westworld related, and it's interesting. I need to put that on my TBR. Yeah. Mhm. For kids. Oh my god. That sounds really crazy. Oh, wait. I just realized I wasn't showing you in the stream. I'm so slow. That's really funny. I'm so sorry. That's how
Did
fast
everybody
I'm
hear me?
talking. I really hope so. That'd be really one-sided this whole time. I really hope not, or else I would look like a crazy person just talking. Da 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 da. God.
Can whoever's been here the longest, could you hear me in
Could
this
you
chat?
could you hear Allana when she was talking? I'm so sorry. I just realized it said beneath your face because I can see your face. I said beneath your
I
face.
could see my face too, so I thought
Show.
I was just
It said show
perfect.
on stream, and I was like, "What does this mean? Isn't she showing?" Wow. LOL. We
Oh,
couldn't hear her. Oh.
it's okay.
Oh no! I am the worst hype woman of life. I'm so sorry.
So funny though, because they literally just want you to talk to yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
they won't have the conversation. That's really funny. Oh god. Um,
Well, that's fun.
I'm so sorry. All your
I was
viewpoints.
just okay. It was funny because I was sitting here eating the whole time too, so I was like, they're just watching me eat. It's okay.
They missed out on the prime opportunity of you eating Chipotle. Oh,
um, what were we saying though?
I don't remember. I got now I'm distracted.
Oh, we were talking about Good Luck Girls. Yeah, it's like I haven't read it, but it's like they're like it's like almost like a brothel, and then they try to escape. It's almost like an underground railroad type sense too, where they're trying to find this like person that can get them to freedom and get their like enslavement taken away or whatever.
Mm. Oh, that reminds me of Dread Nation. Have you heard of Dread Nation by
I
just
have.
I think?
That's the one that's during the Civil War, right?
Yeah, during the Civil War, but like they're zombies now. But basically, the concept of like yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know that part.
zombies,
There's
there's
zombies
zombies.
now.
And like the black people are enlisted to like kill the zombies. And what kind of reminds me of it is that the younger black girls or guys mostly are like trained to defend the white people. Basically, is the concept of the story, and so that reminded me of it. That one was really good. Dread Nation had prime romance and a very interesting plot if you like zombies.
To consider that.
Definitely, I think the second one actually just came out this month, I think.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that in my store. We put them out. Okay, so and then we were talking about readathons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing Blackathon. I haven't started anything for that yet.
This one
Unless I
counts.
want to count. Yeah, I was gonna say unless I want to count Daughters of NRI. And then I'm doing the Valentine's readathon too that Kate from Chapter Kate
Yeah.
has been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was the first year, and I think this year it's the second year now of them doing it, and it's really cool. I like it. I have a bunch of contemporary on my list, hopefully that I can get to.
Yes. Do you know what you want to read now that you finish this book? Oh, that Chipotle's too good.
Yes, it is. So I have for Valentine's, you can sign up to do a buddy read with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided we decided to do American Panda.
Oh,
So I'm gonna do that one, and then I'm also buddy reading with Chanel this month, which is really it like randomly happened.
mm-hmm.
So we're doing I think it's The Way I Feel or I can't remember. It's another Asian inspired story too, which I realized I was like I have not like I have black I have like people of color like black authors on my DBR for Blackathon, and then for Valentine's for some reason I ended up putting a lot of Asian inspired like Asian authors on there that I didn't even realize I did it until afterwards. I was like
Lots of POC rep. Read on what? Oh, the wedding party. Someone's gonna read the wedding party. That's. I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, I usually promote that one. I haven't read it, but when I'm at my store, I usually
You're like, oh, get it.
Yeah, the phrase that I always say to people whenever they're like wondering about a book, I'm always like, my friend liked that. They said that it was really good if I haven't read it myself. And usually it's people I trust anyway, so I'm like, you should totally check it out.
You should trust my friend too. Yeah, that works. But oh my god, American Panda, I thought personally was so good. I gave it 5 stars. I found it to be like the cutest, like contemporary that talks, like that's kind of hard hitting, but not because like it talks a lot about the family dynamics. I feel like you're gonna love it because like you and I like shoujo manga a lot, so I feel like that is very up that alley of just cute and innocent, but also hard hitting.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was waiting to get it because I liked the paperback cover more than the hardback cover. So I was like, oh, I'll just wait. It's not that long and I'm not in a hurry to read it. But I'm excited to finally pick it up this month.
Yeah. And then I think I'm participating in Blackathon. I've been trying to do, have you heard of the Beyonce-a-thon? It's like the Beyonce readathon.
I heard of that, but I didn't know really what it was and I hadn't had the chance to look it up.
Yeah, it's like, I forget the challenges exactly, but it was just like all Beyonce themed. And I know I completed one of the challenges by reading this and a love-hate thing that I read last month because it's like halfway through January it started and it's going to end the 17th of February. So I'm definitely going to try and do more prompts on that list. And it fits pretty closely to Blackathon's contemporary challenges. But it's just funny because I'm also like, I don't know, I'm a huge Beyonce fan. So it's like perfect. It's like, yes. Ha, Beyonce. And then I thought there was like one other readathon. Oh, I'm gonna try and participate in the Black Love readathon that Mina Reads is doing. I just don't know exactly what book I want to read because I don't think I have too many Black romance books. I could try and find the wedding party, but I want to read more physical books that I have and not buy anymore.
That makes sense. Let's see, they said, do you read any mysteries?
Mysteries? Oh, I feel so bad. I don't.
I do.
You do? Oh, yes.
I don't read. I read YA mysteries though. I don't know if
Mm.
that's. I don't count as
It counts. It
people
counts.
might have a different opinion. I don't know. It's weirdly enough, I haven't read any like Black author mysteries. That might be like a. Sorry, I dropped my fork. That might be a thing.
I have a
Hmm?
book for you. I have a book for you that's kind of thriller-esque.
Yeah, I was like, that might be just me not looking hard enough. Most of them, I just pick up whatever's in front of me. But right now, my favorite mystery author is what's her name? I'm blanking on her name. I'm literally uh her last name is McManus. Karen M. McManus. She did One of Us is Lying, Two
Oh,
Can
yeah.
Keep a Secret, and One of Us is Next. She got me with One of Us is Lying because I am a really big fan of Breakfast Club and just love 80 movies in general because my dad. And that book is the like kind of slogan for it is like the Breakfast Club, but with murder. And so five kids go in to detention and four come out and the last one is dead. You kind of don't know who did it.
Hmm. And then a black mystery that's really good. It's kind of mystery. It's more YA contemporary, but it's Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany Jackson. I buddy
Yeah.
with Jessie from Bow Ties and Books, and it was really good. It was very suspenseful, and the ending like shook me. Like it's about a girl who is gone missing, and her best friend is left in the aftermath of dealing with it. And it's just it's like a psychological thriller. It's not too plot driven. So that one was really good.
Yeah, I saw that when I wanted to read it. I just got nervous because I was like, this sounds really intense and I don't know if I'm ready yet. So I've been like with certain books, I'm always like, I need to give it a good solid time limit so that way I can build myself up to getting it, reading
Yeah.
it.
Yes, it's definitely intense. But I find that the beginning is really slow in the sense that it's really developing the story. So I feel like the book does a really good job at easing you into the details, you know? It like places you, it like gently brings you in and then it crushes your heart at the very end.
It crushes your heart.
Yeah. And
Makes
then
sense.
yeah, makes sense. And then someone asked if we read Biddy, or Beatty. Is that how you pronounce that book?
Bindi?
I've
I
seen
think
the
it's
cover of it, but I haven't read it yet. And I know a lot of people like it. Like Justin really likes that book.
yeah, I've seen people talk about it. I just
Mhm.
haven't really honestly looked it up for myself. I've mostly just seen people say they like it a lot. I'm
Mhm.
really behind on books, especially hyped books. I take a really long time to get to them because I'm honestly trying to focus on the books that I have. First of all, because I have too many that I have not read yet, but also I'm just very slow. If I'm
No,
being
same. I feel like everyone can agree with everything you just said. Is that like you buy too many books, you get excited, and you don't read them, and then more books come out, and you're like, dang it, now I'm behind.
yeah, I struggle and it's a whole process of
Mm. Well, they said it is a really quick read. Oh, is it like a novella? I thought it was a big book. Like I remember the cover of
I
Amazon
thought it was
list.
it looked pretty short, I think from what I saw, but I could be
She's pretty
um
sure. I'll trust her. She read it, but I thought it was like a full length, like almost science fictiony fantasy book. No, tiny. In
okay.
Black romance, check out K.M. Jackson. Oh, the typical
Cool.
Hallmark cute stories. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna check that out. I love me some Hallmark movies. I'm so bad.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm always turning it on like 24/7 when it's time.
Did you
AKA when
ever
Christmas.
watch? Oh, sorry. Did you ever watch The Good Witch? Or I think it's called The Good Witch. It's like a Hallmark.
Yeah, I've seen a few like episodes of that or a few seconds of the movie, one or the other.
I was obsessed with that show for a hot second, and I realized like a third season in, I was like, oh, there's not too much going on here. They're just being cutesy in an old town.
Yeah.
That's it.
Clean,
I'm like, oh,
wholesome.
yep. I just love that wholesome content.
Minty is a novella series, but they're also selling copies with all three books together in one. Maybe that's the one you saw, Jess.
Oh, that's probably what I saw. Okay.
It's sci-fi. Yeah, I don't know much about it.
Mhm.
I've seen people talk about it without even really talking about it, if that makes sense. Like,
No,
they don't tell
exactly.
about, they just tell about what they liked about it, I guess.
Mhm.
I kind of zone out at that point.
No, I think it's not even just zoning out. A lot of people will just say they really like a book and they'll talk about all the things they like, but then like I always do it in a video where I'm like, oh, I didn't even tell people like what it's about at all, like because you're so focused on how like enjoyable the story is. It's like, oh, what's the story?
Yeah, I don't usually when I'm talking about a TBR, I typically don't talk about what the book is about
Mhm,
because some people just don't want to know.
mhm.
That's something my like friend Sylvia mentioned, and I was like, oh, you're kind of right. And then when I do my wrap ups, I try to explain it to the best of my abilities. That way, I can talk about what I liked and didn't like. But it gets a
Mhm.
little hard
I
because I
def-
forget.
it's like a skill set, being able to control yourself. I'm one of those people that when I'm editing, I realize like, oh, I've been talking about the same thing for like 5 minutes, and I have to like edit it back.
Like cut myself off. It's so short you would give most of it away. Explaining that makes sense. There are books that I've had where I've been like, I can't explain any of this because
It's a spoiler.
I can spoil it in one sentence.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah. Agreed, agreed.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Mhm. And then I think I'm also gonna put a poll on Twitter for our next book pick soon. Making sure to do that. And then check out Hollywood's Inside by it's a black struggling actress. Ooh, who decides to solve a mystery because she wants the reward money. That's really interesting.
That's smart.
That kind of reminds me of Turtles All the Way Down, even though I personally didn't like. Did you read Turtles All the Way Down?
No,
No.
I did this thing where with John Green, I only read The Fault in Our Stars, and then after that, I refused to read anything else because I didn't want to ruin that book for
That,
me.
that is a good choice. That is a good choice. I I couldn't finish Looking for Alaska. I like just after the halfway point of like the big thing, I was just like, okay, no. And then Turtles All the Way Down, there's a subplot of this person's missing, and then they get reward money if they find this particular person. Um, but it was more focused on character development and relationships. It just sounded
Yeah.
familiar because the people trying to get reward money for like solving a crime. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that. After, what was it? I was gonna say something else. Decide to, and you were talking about something. I can't even remember.
Tapping out already. You're like, okay, can't talk. I don't
You were
remember.
talking about the readathons.
Oh yeah, it's Blackathon, Beyonce-a-thon. I'm gonna try and do Black Love because I also feel I want to do Contemporary-thon, but that's just like too much to trying to do four. Beyonce's-a-thon's gonna end in like next week, so I feel like I can confidently like add like a couple more challenges to that. And I know I want to read Queenie next. I'm reading Queenie right now. I have it. I'm literally
I've
like
heard
30
good things
pages
about.
into it. What'd you say?
I said I heard good things about that one too.
Everyone loves it, and it's so funny. I've been watching a lot of the TBRs for Blackathon, and almost like everybody was mentioning Queenie because one of the challenges is to read a book that's not like American central, or it's based in like a different country or a different culture. So like everybody was picking up Queenie for that one, which I just thought it was funny. It's like, oh, we all had the same idea.
Definitely, they were like, we can finally liberate all the things we want to read. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's what like readathons are for. Like you have your set TBR, but then your readathons, you're like, I can read whatever I want. I can pull out all the things that I can't read on my TBR right now.
Right, right. Oh my gosh. Um, so it's almost at the hour mark. Is there anything else you wanted to say about like Daughters of NRI or anything about I don't know life?
I mean, I would recommend it still to people to check out and stuff.
Definitely.
Again, it was my favorite fantasy ever, but I think whenever the second one comes out, I'm at least willing to give it a chance and see what happens in it. Because at least the concept of the twins thing is really interesting to me. I've always been like enjoyed like stories about twins a little bit, so that concept kind of still intrigues me to see how it's done.
Hmm. Agreed, agreed. I definitely have, like, I had high expectations for the very first book, and now I feel like now my expectations are a little lower. I'm like, okay, but I still want it to like fulfill the mystery of it, of the world and things like that. So I definitely recommend it, and I feel like certain people will really like how it's told. I feel like it's very particular, the narrative style of it and the pacing of it, where it's kind of quick, choppy moments of these two girls' lives. So I feel like a good amount of people will enjoy this, and I think the women empowerment element is definitely really, really enjoyable while
Hmm.
still having a little cute romance in it.
Yeah, I feel like this was like the foundation. Like if she can build off of this story really well, I think it could still end up being like a cool series if that's where it goes.
Mhm.
It's just like maybe faster pacing, hopefully, or
Or I don't even want faster because sometimes I just want to like hold on to the moment more because I feel like we got like the beginning of a moment and then it would cut. We like, oh, we got caught, cut. Oh, I'm
yeah.
falling out the window, cut. you
Yeah,
know,
I'm falling out a window.
yeah, cut.
Yeah, less cutscenes. There you
Yeah.
go.
So I feel like if we had more fleshed out scenes almost, and then you can jump around, I feel like a little bit more. I feel like the element of surprise really came from those like jump cuts. Like it was like an action movie, but then like I didn't understand the world as much as I wished. But
Yeah,
it was
and
still like
maybe
moving.
I was gonna say maybe even like less of perspectives because even like there were just some perspectives where I was like, this wasn't needed in the
Hmm.
story really. Like not yeah, like
Yeah, I think
keep the
the two
ones
girls is good. Just the two girls.
yeah. And like even maybe throw in like I didn't mind
Ooh,
oh bless you. I
thank you.
didn't mind like seeing the mindset of maybe like NA or Eni, whatever his name is, and or the or Ina. Like I didn't mind their mindsets because they were involved in the story. It was just
Mhm.
like the extra stuff where I was like, why is this necessary? Also, did now that I'm thinking about it, did we get a perspective from the older lady?
Um, Not too much, besides the fact that like sometimes they would be talking, her and uh when she talked to other characters, the soldier, the kitchen people, like she would talk about how her patience were up, or like things like that, like her emotional state. I feel like
Yeah,
that's the only like snippet of her that we got, but not really a full
which I,
perspective because I feel like that
yeah,
would be part of the mystery.
yeah, that's interesting because of the fact that like everybody else got a perspective. She just didn't.
Yeah, like even the evil dude, we got his feelings like all the time about how he's like how he, or not too much how he felt in the end, and in the beginning it really laid out his like mentality of justice and right and wrong and all that craziness. That's so he
Yeah.
we got his perspective even, and we didn't get like the mentor perspective. So is it, yeah, it's kind of sad actually because now she's gone.
Yeah. Maybe she did it on purpose though.
Yeah, I feel like to mystery suspense, it's like
Right.
coming to the second book and learn which we didn't find out.
Yeah. If she didn't mean to do it that way, she should totally play it off in the second book that she meant to, because it would be interesting.
Yeah,
And a
definitely. Okay. So, past the hour mark, I think it's time to wrap it up. So, I want to thank everyone who came by and stopped by, and I just want to apologize to both the people who watched and to you, Allana, for not showing you for like 40 minutes of this live stream.
it's
A
okay.
learning experience, and you know what, it's okay because it makes me look really crazy, and I'm not looking forward to it, seeing how this looks on my channel. I'm gonna put a disclaimer, Alana's talking in the
You
background.
just can't hear
You
her.
can't hear her. Oh, what a good time. This is such a
Okay.
learning lesson. I can't thank, I can't thank you enough, Alana, for coming on this channel, and I wish that I hope the last like 20 or so minutes represents you well. And thank you for joining me. And next time it won't, if you want to come back next time, it won't be as messy. I swear. I swear.
Yeah, I would totally love to come back whenever you want me to come back.
Oh, yes.
I'm not doing much, so.
And I'll get it right this time.
Hey, it's a learning process. So next time, whoever is next, like,
got it.
Know what to do now.
Now I know. Now I know what to do without having to wait half an hour. Okay. Well, I'm going to end the live stream here. Is there anything you wanted to say, Allana, before we sign off?
Not
Go
really.
follow the
Thanks
channel.
for having me, though. I'm so excited we read this together, even if it was like just okay.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody who joined us and listened partially to what we had to say. I swear the stuff that I said was interesting. It just wasn't
100%.
heard.
100%. More interesting than what I was saying. Half the video is going to be me like this. Listening to her. Like,
the silent pauses is even funnier. So yeah, definitely follow Jess's book club, because this is what it is. Just fun talking about books by Black authors.
Yes. And follow Allana. Do it.
Oh yeah.
Great.
My channel is The Awkward Book Nerd if you want to come follow me. And I'm also on Twitter at Allana Manana. So yeah. There we go.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to end the live show here. Thanks again for everyone watching. And I hope you guys have a good Saturday night, Sunday morning, wherever you are. And thank you for watching. Bye. Let's see if I can end this right. Let's see. Stop.